Hello, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about Black Beauty. This is a story about a horse named Black Beauty, and I read part 4. And part 4, let me look at where it is in the story. Part 4 is kind of when he goes back to his home, I believe, and he does have a little bit of, gets old and worn down, and then Farmer Throughood and the grandson Willie come, and he gets sold for them, and he lives out his life as a retired horse, having a good, time. But this is definitely a story, like an autobiography, a fiction autobiography, I would call it. It's an account of the horse, obviously. This one does have experiences of other horses, so it does talk about war. It does have abuse for horses and other animals like dogs. But there's a lot of um, like things that I already kind of knew about, and to me, I think the writing style was pretty well written, and I really think that the author is amazing. That she was like a young age. I think she was 16 or something when she wrote the book, something like that. So she was a really young author that wrote this book, and I thought that was really creative. And I also I did like the ending, how he kind of doesn't get like killed or whatever. We have a couple horses in this book. Some, there's a fire, and if you know about horses, horses are afraid of fire, so they stand in fear. They don't really move very well. So, yeah, I also really like the pacing of the book and the pictures. I thought those were really good. And yeah, I did watch like 3 adaptations. I think I watched 3 adaptations. Yes, I did. I watched 2 cartoons. 2 of them were on YouTube, and one on Amazon. And I think my favorite one was probably the first one I watched, which I think was in 1990s. Whew, bless me. It was 1995, that version. I'm not positive. I'm gonna get my notebook out. Let's see. The time machine movie. Wisdom. Yes. Okay, yeah. Black Beauty was the 1995 cartoon. And I really liked this one. It kind of had the girl main character or kid who loves Black Beauty instead of a guy or young kid. And I really, really, really liked this book. But it wasn't like amazing. There wasn't anything that was like, I felt like nowadays people take care of their horses and they don't use them for like the things that they used them in the past, like use them as carriage taxis, or using them for like transportation, or even riding them and stuff. it's very different now. Nowadays, we definitely write them, but we make sure that we don't use some products that were to they had like these products that like held their neck so their neck would be straight instead of kind of making it easier for walk. They would have these covers on their eyes so that they couldn't like they could kind of to help them see straight, but they actually their eyes are like this, so it's like yeah, it's different. So yeah, um, I rated this 3 stars. Um, it was good, but I really do think that there I have read better like animal type books than this. So yeah, I don't know why I rated this a 5 star when I was a kid. Probably because I was like into horseback riding and I loved horses. But now my passion for horses has definitely decreased. Well, not like I still love horseback riding and stuff, but I feel like the time period in this is very older, so it's definitely like something. It doesn't carry through time. That's what I'm trying to say. Like it just doesn't. He's a carriage horse. He's in a cab horse. He has some different owners. He also meets different horses, and the horses tell him about experiences, like the person about war horse. There was a movie, the live action movie I saw, which was in '94. Actually, had Black Beauty and the Circus in the like I think a racehorse, and also like yeah, a racehorse and um like as a cab horse, um carrying the carriage. Yeah, it was like different um things, and also as a war horse. He was never a war horse. He had a friend that was a war horse and stuff, which I felt like really interesting. And I think that a lot of times they only put like Black Beauty and Ginger, but there's a lot more friends. Like we have the old horse, we have the old war horse. I forget his name. We have Marigold, Marylegs, and Ginger is the biting horse that bites people but then she like stopped biting people and stuff. But yeah, she just gets worried. Yeah, so this one was a pretty good book, but I do highly recommend it for people who really like horses still, but I don't recommend it for people who love animals because it just deals with the horses abuse, and it has a little bit of dog abuse, but it doesn't really go into like other abusive or other abuse of animals, which I think is very important that you read. Um, I'm going to definitely give this back to my mom because I borrowed it from my mom to read for my son because it has beautiful illustrations. And I was planning on reading another book for my son, but I decided against it because I want to read it during Christmas. But that's besides the fact. I'm going off topic here. But this book is a classic, and you should read it. But it's not like an amazing, life-changing experience for me since I knew all about all these terms and some of the products that we use because I have read this, have seen the movie, know what these things are, that kind of stuff. Um, and I felt like I don't know, since I'm older, it didn't really affect me as like like I cared about Black Beauty, but didn't really care about any of the other horses that died or got killed or whatnot. I didn't care about them. Like that's saying something. I also felt like the main characters, the owners, I liked some of the owners, but some of the owners were like, I just, yeah, like there was one guy who was drunk and rides Black Beauty and he falls off and he dies. But it's like, it was weird because, like, I'm like, you're drunk. Whatever. Like, I don't care. You should, yeah, you're drunk. If you're drunk, you shouldn't go out. You should stay there at that place. And, yeah. And in the movie that happened too, and I didn't really connect. And you're also very short. You stay with the horse, but you spend short time with each owner, and so you don't actually build the character or the sadness if somebody dies or yeah, there was a scene I think in the family, the I think the cab when he was a cab horse. I think that I connected a little bit, but I felt like also they were too, about God and religion and stuff, and just shoving that down your throat in a way. So people who are atheists or um, have a different religions and believe in many gods or different stuff like that won't really accept this book, I guess, because it is a lot of like Christian vibes in it. Talks about being Christian, talks about the different things about religion and stuff in it, and stuff like that, which I agree with, but I also think it's like shoved down people's throat. Like you could literally, like they want you to eat that and stuff, which I didn't like because this is a fiction book. Like anybody could read this book, but that's the problem that I had with it. Um, Other than that, it was short. It was 265 pages, a really short read. I did enjoy Black Beauty's perspective, although it would kind of, it was part of the time, so it wasn't like, even though, like, I guess you could say, like, skip hopped and jumped a little bit through different time periods. So, like, in the important time periods in Beauty's life, instead of um, in like, I guess, the whole life of this horse. But I also think that it is an important read, um, and definitely very fun. Um, I did also really enjoy the aspect of Black Beauty having different names. He goes by like Blackie, Jack, like different names, and I think that's common for like dogs or cats being passed along. Like their owner was abusive to them or something, and then obviously the controller, pet people or whatever, you know, take that cat or dog and raise them up, and then maybe someone purchases the cat or the dog, which I think is really really good, um, and stuff. But it did really portray how the main character, Black Beauty, kind of had different names throughout his life. Now, none of the movie, I think the movies didn't really portray that. They named him Blackie all the time, but they also named him Black Beauty or Beauty. So that was kind of what they named him, but they didn't really like have a set like different names and stuff. And yes, it just, yeah. So I did like, this book was a 3-star. And I do recommend it for people who like horses, who have been horseback riding, but I think it's good for newer people who haven't, and kids who really like horses but haven't been horseback riding, and people who like animals as well. And yeah, that is the end of the review or book talk for Black Beauty. If you have enjoyed this book, please comment down below. If you want to read this book, yes. And that is it. Have a great day. Bye.